The chef makes 2 horizontal cuts with a steel knife. The thick tuna is easily sliced into 3 pieces. Such a sharp tuna knife. How is it forged? The chef uses a piece of spring steel. The tuna knife is made from spring steel. Spring steel has the advantages of high strength, high hardenability, and low decarburization. The length of the knife is marked by drawing a line. The excess length is cut off with a cutter. The spring steel bar is then fired in a furnace at high temperatures. During the heating time, the master draws the knife and marks the length of the blade and handle. When the bar is red hot, it is immediately taken out and forged on the forge. After reheating, the blade needs to be straightened while it is still hot. Continue forging on the forge. This time you have to pay attention to the forging area. Make the back of the blade thicker and the blade thinner. Once the final width and thickness is achieved, heat the tip of the blade until it is red. Cut the tip out of steel. After a brief correction of the tip, the master heats the entire blade in the furnace. When the blade is red, the blade is removed and tapped again and again. This is the final correction to the blade. This is a very important step for a long knife, because it is all about the straightness of the knife and whether it works well in the hand. After half an hour of work, the blade is finally as flat and straight as it needs to be. Now it's time to make the handle of the knife. After making the length markings, cut off the excess length with the cutter. The handle is heated to red. Immediately placed on the forging machine, the master constantly adjusts the position. The forging hammer strikes at different points. Slowly, the hilt becomes thinner and longer. The hilt is finally finished. Before hardening the blade, while it is not very hard, the blade is roughly sharpened on a grinding wheel. The shop mark is stamped on the blade. The blade is then heated again in the furnace. This time, the blade is positioned carefully. Heat the blade mainly until it is red. Remove from the oven and quench in oil immediately. This gives the blade a very high degree of hardness and wear resistance. The rest of the blade will remain tough enough to prevent the knife from breaking. Once the wooden handle is fitted, the blade is sharpened. The blade line is first smoothed with a hard grinding wheel so that it is in a straight line. Then grind the blade with a coarse grinding wheel to reveal a sharp blade line. The blade is then slightly resharpened with a fine wheel. A very sharp tuna knife is created.